Living in an RV or a van or in a car is definitely not for everyone, especially if you don't have the experience and nobody else teach you how to survive in a public areas. And especially if it's a lady such as me, I'm 5'11", and if I go live outside in public areas in a park place and I have no experience, I can put myself in risky situations and dangerous situations. And I can always think about the worst scenario, the worst case scenario. So I have no special training to protect myself if something happens. Let's say I heard some bad stories. This lady describing somebody was tapping on her door and outside her van. So if you don't know how to protect yourself in these situations, I wouldn't suggest you go and start that adventure, because it can be risky and dangerous, especially for a woman. If you are a guy, a man, and you're 6 feet tall and you know how to handle weapons and your tools to defend yourself, and especially if you're a big guy, you can intimidate, you have these looks that's intimidating. You know, looks matter. So I feel that way. And yeah, I feel I'm a little bit old-fashioned. I feel that's more like for a man, that type of lifestyle or living outdoors. They know how to survive. They have more skills, and women are more like they depend on a guy. I'm a little bit old-fashioned. I don't know if some people they agree with me. And you can say nowadays women are more independent and they learn a lot of skills. But for me, for my situation, I have never lived outside in a van, and I don't think I can even survive that situation. And that's why I have to put up with roommates and landlords for the time being. And also, I wanted to mention, if worse comes to worse, if I can't afford living in a room, I'd rather stay on somebody's couch as a crash pad and sleep on the couch and be inside of a home or apartment, because you're not subject to the elements outdoors. And if somebody's gonna break in, there's like barriers they have to go through the front door and everything else. So worst comes to worst, I can rent a couch, or pay a smaller fee to sleep on somebody's couch, which I done this before when I was up in New York City, when there was this recession time and everything got so expensive at once, and they were laying off a lot of people. I was getting unemployment, and I was getting very, very little, unemployment weekly salary, and it was very hard to find a room with that. So I rented. So many times I lived in a room in a basement with no windows, and that affected my health. I had allergies and developed cough. So, and then at one time I lived in an attic, and it was cold and small, and I had to, even though I am not that tall, I had to go lower because the attic was like so low. It was like the ceiling was like, it's a V shape. It was low. So yeah, that was one situation. And at one time I lived in a garage room outside where people put their tools by the garage, and that was in April up in New York, and we're freezing at night. The temperature was like 18-20 degrees, and I used to wake up with my hands and feet was like blue. It was freezing. I was like, you don't feel your extremities, your hands was like so cold, and my nose. So I dealt with bad situations before, but I never lived in a car, or actually I never owned a car previously until I moved to Florida, and now I don't have that car because it broke down. But anyway, I wanted to mention that. And also I think it's for a man. I think they would survive better if they were living in a car or a van, because they're more. They know they have the survival skills. You know, most of them, they know how to survive and they know how to defend themselves and all of that. So anyway, also I wanted to mention, back in the day, I don't know if you remember, for people who are old-fashioned, women used to get married to have a man so that, you know, they protect them from, you know, from the bad people, from the society, like, you know, bad people, or even dealing with, you know, when you live in a house or apartment, you have to call up a plumber, electrician, contractor, or handyman. So the husband used to take care of this, all these issues, problem, and they used to do the talking man to man, you know, with the contractor or the person that's coming to fix things in the house. And the woman used to always take care of the household chores. So I think a little bit old-fashioned in those days, where women shouldn't be dealing too much with the, you know, contractor. Even though when I had a condo, I was dealing with them, but it was always referred through somebody. So, and sometimes I used to get people from online, and yeah, so I always think a little bit old-fashioned. So if you're somebody who's old-fashioned, who still think, you know, it's dangerous for women to interact in certain situations, or put yourself in certain situations which you shouldn't do, let me know in the comment below. And I know nowadays all women are independent, but still a lot of bad things happen at the same time. You know, you can see it on the news, and I try as much as I can not to intentionally put myself in that bad position, because it only takes that one time to happen, something bad happen to you. I try to not to go out at night after 7 p.m. when it's dark by myself, unless it's something really I have to do, or it's something like an emergency, or if it's a job, maybe I just go straight to the job, or it depends, you know. So I try to stay in crowded places. So things like that, you know, you have to be aware, especially for women. So if you relate to that, leave me a comment in the comment section below. And this is what I have for you today. Please put a like and subscribe to my channel, and I see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.